Everyone, welcome once again to Shaurav's classes. Here we are again back with another tomato problem solving session objective. So those who have been seeing in the series of the videos, they are already aware of this, but those who are new, let me tell you that this series of videos are meant for people who are aspirants or aspiring for I.S.I and CMI entrance. And tomato is basically the abbreviated form of this book, Test of Mathematics at 10+2 level, which is published by I.S.I themselves. So every I.S.I aspirant or every aspiring I.S.I aspirant must contain this book necessarily. This is because this is published by I.S.I themselves, a bunch or a set of problems that is necessary to clear the I.S.I entrance examination. Problems from tomato usually appear in the examinations, and there are a lot of other bunch of problems which are frequently available in Shaurav's classes. So now we are just dedicated to the objective part in this video. So let me tell you that I.S.I exam contains two parts: the objective part, so this is the questions of the objective part, and the subjective part is also there. So you need to attempt both the papers when you sit for an I.S.I exam. You need to attempt the objective part as well as the subjective part. So here we will be mainly dealing with the objective questions. So for clearing the entrance examination and getting into the interview, you need to qualify for both the parts. So here is our first question. If the matrix A and B satisfy AB plus BA equals to O here means the zero matrix which contains all zero entries, then A squared B power 5 is option A O, option B AB, option C B power 5 A squared, option C B squared A power 5. So this came in the I.S.I entrance of last year, and now I give you some time to attend this problem. I got come. Okay. Okay, so the stipulated time that is to be given for this problem is over. So now this problem does not require any good thrust or any good trick, so you just need to be very familiar with matrix operations and how those operations work. So this will just be a yield of a particular number of operations and will just be some monotonous manipulations. But remember that don't skip these sort of problems. This is because I.S.I doesn't always mean extraordinary hard problems. They also have given approach problems like this type. So these are just to say the scope for additional marks. So I recommend you always to practice these and don't leave these scopes. So the solution goes like this. So if I start from here, AB equals plus BA equals O, which implies AB equals minus BA, which implies if I multiply then AB equals BA sounds funny, but nothing to do. That's how the problem was set. So it can be written as minus AA BB, which is equals to minus BB AA, which can be further rewritten as A square B square equals B square A square. So remember that in cases of matrices, just directly squaring this won't yield you the solution. This is because we know that matrices do not follow the general principles of what we have studied in real numbers, the commutativity and etc. So A square plus B square must be B square plus A square. So this is a long step that I need to come to this. I mark this equation 1. Now AB equals minus BA again, which implies AB square equals to minus BAB, which is equals to BA square, which is equals to BA square, which further implies that. So this is a very long manipulation that AB equals, so from, I name this equation 2. Now AB equals minus BA, and by some similar logic I get from this relation again A square B equals B square A. So this I name it as equation 3. Now A square B power 5. So what was my resulting expression needed? A square B power 5 can be written as A square B cube, A square B cube equals B square A square B cube, associativity, or we can apply the results there. So A square B cube is B square A square B cube, because A square B was somehow derived, A square B equals to B A square, and now we get B square A square B. So following the same logic, B square A square B, which is nothing but B5 A square. So the correct answer according to Tomato is C. So now I want to tell that this problem required no special concepts, no special just tricks or stratagems. This is just the importance. So in importance you must remember the laws of multiplication and addition of matrices, and that will help you to solve this problem very easily. So this was just a simple manipulation based simplification type problem. So whenever you get this, please don't leave it in the examination, as these are just the bonus marks. Remember that these are the bonus marks that you get. Okay, so now let's rush to the next problem. So question. So this problem says that if t equals 2 pi upon 7 and a equals cos t minus cos t, sin t and sin t, then a power 100 is one of the four options. So I give you some time to try out this question on your own before I explain the solution to you. So in option C, the I that is given in option C, so let me adjust the camera a bit. So the I that is given is the identity matrix, that is 1001. Okay, sorry, I just mentioned a big change as I have copied the question wrong. So this will be, sorry, extremely sorry for this unintentional mistake. So this will be okay. So this is the question now. So I request you to try it. Okay, so the stipulated time that was meant for this problem comes to an end. Now, many of you might have employed different methods to solve this problem, but I'll give you a slightly different technique. As I said, that I'll give you a slightly different technique and a much shorter concept to solve this problem, so that you can just solve these sorts of problem in seconds. So today's concept revolves around matrix representation of complex numbers. So today's topic of concept that revolves around is matrix representation of complex numbers. I'll teach you how to represent a complex number using a matrix, so that when required we can use the properties of matrix to solve complex number problems and properties of complex numbers to solve matrix problems. So let's see. So remember that by definition, and I'll also explain you that why this definition comes. That by definition, A minus B, B A is defined by the complex number A plus iota B. Just remember this, that this is the definition and this is the corresponding, so this is a complex number and I represent it in matrix form, and this in complex form or the complex number form. So I have taught you to see that this is by definition the two important of these matrices which can be treated as this. So now before just getting into the groove of why this, so I want you to just copy it down, just because this we will exploit very often to solve problems, and you will see that how easier a problem gets when you just try to find or compute things using this number. Okay? So why this comes? Let me tell you that consider the matrix J as observe that J squared equals to minus I. So I hope that you observe that if you square this, you will get J square as minus I. So that's why, since we have I square as minus 1 and this identity corresponds to the identity matrix, we can just, there is no harm in taking this matrix to be in this complex number form. In fact, it will make concepts more easier and strategies more clear to us. Let's see how. So the problem we just encountered, for which we needed to learn this concept, this very amazing concept, is it says A equals to cos t minus sin t. So A minus B sin t cos t, where t is given as 2 pi by 7. Now you will see the magic that how easily we can solve this. Now what is A then? By the definition we have learned A is nothing but cos t plus I sin t. So isn't it amazing? A is nothing but cos t plus I sin t. And what we are asked to find? A power 100. Now what is A power 100? A power 100 is by De Moivre's theorem cos 200t plus I sin 200t, where t is 2 pi by 7. So cos of 400 pi by 7 plus I sin 400 pi by 7, which is equal to, it says that by De Moivre's theorem cos of 4 pi by 7. So we can just apply the periodicity part and we get cos 2t plus 2t. So the correct option according to the Tomato book is, like a book that I am holding. So the correct option as per the Tomato book is cos 2t plus I sin 2t. That is, how can we represent this in complex number then? Remember the form I told, that is A minus B, BA, and therefore the corresponding expression is A. So this is nothing but A minus B, B, A, which is nothing but option A, sorry. So you see that how complex number representation of matrices help us to solve such a big, huge problem in just a few steps. So we will use this representation quite often to solve problems. Remember that this representation is very much correct and mathematically verified also. So you can see that how this tricks works. So let me get down to the next and the problem of this session. The roots of question. So this question says that the roots of the equation, so let me remove from the board. So the question says the roots of the equation px equals 8nx power 10, a9x power 9 plus dot dot. So a1x, I missed this x. So a1x are less than 1. So the function fx 8n e power 10x, a9 e power 9x plus a0x x greater than 0 is increasing, decreasing, both or none. So I give you some time to solve this problem. Okay, so the time meant for this problem is over. Now this problem depends upon a keen observation, as I have said. So let's just remain as it is. Now I just rub the options. So this was the function that is given to us, and this was the polynomial. Now suppose I differentiate the function of both sides. So what I get? Isn't it? So if I differentiate the function, we know that the differentiate of e power mx is n e power x. But this function is very recognizable to us. What is that? This function is just, if I substitute p, so the x's will be on top, sorry. So this function is basically p of e power x, isn't it? So this function, if I differentiate, I got it that this differentiation is equals to p of e power x. Now px vanishes only for x less than 1. Now px equals to 0, as we said that the roots are all less than 1. Therefore for roots less than 1, then p of e power x, now then p of e power x must be greater than 0 for all x greater than 0. Why must this happen? This is because e power x when x greater than 0 is 1. So that's why, since this is greater than 1 and therefore no zeros of px can lie, and therefore since the coefficients are positive, so p of e power x must be greater than 0. Say then f dash x must be continuous. This is because we know that every polynomial function that is present in this world, that all are continuous. So since f dash is continuous, therefore it is either positive or negative, and so it is both increasing and decreasing in some intervals, and therefore the correct option according to Tomato is option C. So you see that sometimes deriving the expressions, or sometimes finding similarity between two expressions reduces the problem solving load and increases the problem solving efficiency. So I recommend you to use these short tricks when you are seeing exams. So these are not as such strategies or tricks, or these can be just reminded as some tips for problem solving. Like these tips must come instantly to one's mind if you solve maximum of this problem. So the main part lies in solving problems by yourself. So towards the end, I want to conclude saying that practice more and more problems from Tomato, practice from past year papers, because you need to qualify the objective part to get into the I.S.I examination. Now you can't rely only on the subjective part. So if you do very good in the objective part, you are bound to be called for the interview. Now, Test of Mathematics, as I said, is a very important book for Tomato, is a very important book for entrances. And for more such concepts, you will need in your future later. So you must have a copy of Saurav sir's classes study materials. They are extensively rich in concepts and explanations and filled with tricks and tips like this to solve problems easily. So get your copy as soon as possible. It's available in the institution and in Amazon and Flipkart online also. So for now, all the best for your upcoming exams. Bye and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.